Okay, I got my garage door here, but if we take a look down low, there's some light cracking through the bottom here. Now let's open this up real quick. And here you can get a close-up look at that dent and what is actually causing all that light to poke through, this disfiguration inside the garage door. This is an older door, it's about 15 years old. Ideally a garage door would last longer than that, but this one just isn't sealing out the bottom. So little critters like spiders and insects can fit their way through there. The whole door really doesn't need replacing, it's just this bottom section. And I've actually been using it like this for several years now. I've been blocking the gap off with a 2x4. Put little pieces of wood to really get it sealed. But ideally, I shouldn't have to do that. So I went ahead and bought a new bottom section, just this bottom panel right here, of the garage door, and I'm going to replace it and swap it right now. One of the most difficult things about this project was finding a vendor that would sell me just a bottom section that matched with the existing garage door that was already there. I didn't need to replace the whole thing. But eventually I did find a vendor that was able to fill my order. The downside is the price for just this bottom section is almost the exact same price that I would have had to pay to get a completely brand new garage door. But I only wanted the bottom section and I wanted to keep the existing parts of the garage door just to make the install that much easier. One step that will make this job a whole lot easier is if you open up the garage door and remove the lines connecting the garage door to the extension springs. Not doing this could potentially create a dangerous situation that I'll explain a bit more later on. Okay, so the first step is going to be detaching this bottom panel. Now I want to keep as much of the hardware as I can. I'm just replacing this section of it. So I have a tool that matches up to the bolt size here, and I'm just going to blast out some of these bolts here. Now let's go for that middle section. Okay, now the far side. The reason it's so important to remove the tension spring cord from the door is because they're always pulling up when they're connected. The springs are made to lift the whole garage door, so if they're just lifting a bracket, they could really do some damage. In my case, after removing the bolts from the bottom brackets, they could have shot up with a lot of power with nothing holding them down anymore. But even if you were to remove a middle panel, you would still want to disconnect the tension spring cord to prevent the springs pulling up when you're trying to remove your panel. But because the tension spring is disconnected, I was able to lift it up and pull off that bottom section, and now the bottom section is completely detached right there. You can see the roller still connected to the tension line there, and now I just need to hook up the bottom section to the remaining top portion. Here's my bottom garage door section. I'm just unboxing it here so I can put it in place and get ready to work with it. Okay, I got my new section down. Nothing hooked up, of course. The old part of the garage door is still separate to the top. So I got my new section somewhat in place. Nothing hooked up, not even the wheels and tracks. And there's a rubber seal at the bottom right here, and it's just a little bit beyond, so I might just trim this just a little bit. So with the bottom gasket trimmed a little bit, what I'm going to try to attempt to do now is grab that roller that's attached to the spring, bring it down, and attach it, and do that on both sides. If you haven't removed the rollers from the extension spring, go ahead and do that. Just place the loop of the line on a screw or a hook so it's close by and out of the way. I just hook the loops on a little thing there temporarily while I install these for real. And then I can lift it up and get them on there while it's up. Alright, you may have a sticker in where those brackets are supposed to attach, so you might need to roll that up or poke a hole in it. Once the roller wheel is inside the garage track, we can bolt in that side. And after one side is set, we can work on the other side. Start the bracket above and slide it down until we find that lock-in point. There we go. Clipped in. All right, now I can try bolting that in place as well. Now I can pull down the rest of the garage door, but we'll need to do so carefully because I'm grabbing the full weight. None of it supported by the extension springs. So now I need to bolt this in. Okay, so now the bottom section is hooked up to the top section, but there's still one more thing to do. The springs, the cables that help lift it up are not attached. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to lift this without any spring assistance to bring it up close to where those are and then hook them on. And then that should have the garage door hooked up in place. And that's how we know it worked. The garage door is staying in place right there. I was just going to make sure that this closes well. Great. And the last thing I need to do is install this handle on the other side. Now there's solid metal, there's no holes going to the outside. This can be a tricky step to do right. You want to make sure that your holes are drilled perfectly straight, so using a level could help. Double check your position before drilling any holes. Okay, so I've got a little hole right down here. Snake this through. Just to make sure it lines up. That was my biggest drill bits, and it's not big enough for this handle, but I went ahead and got a new step drill bit. We're going to open this up a little bit more. Okay, with my drills holed, with my holes drilled, I'm gonna stick this in here and then go around the other side and bolt it in. And we just gotta bolt those in place. All right, we got the handle down now.